here at Bobby Bowden Field. The tomahawk chop is very much back in vogue, RG3, as this Noles team has their eyes set, as we said and you said, on a potential berth in the college football playoff.
Yes, they do, and it all starts with Jordan Travis. They morphed this offense to be around his best skill set, and they have seen positive ramifications after that since 2022.
Well, today it will start with Garrett Schrader because FSU won the toss and deferred, so it is Syracuse ball. And Schrader's career, well, it was not a straight line to Syracuse. Began at Mississippi State. He made 4 starts at quarterback. Then they moved him to wide receiver. Well, that was his signal. I need to transfer. He's on his 5th different offensive coordinator in 5 years, but he is one of 2 active quarterbacks with 6,000 passing yards, 2,000 rushing yards, along with Jaden Daniels. If we expanded that list to non-active quarterbacks, I'm standing next to a man that would be on that list. LaQuint Allen is his running back, and he goes down for a 5-yard loss to begin. The blitz arrived, and down goes Schrader. Shaheem Brown in the backfield, and it's 2nd down and 15, just like that.
Just a really nice job of Florida State rallying to LaQuint Allen, the guy that he wanted to throw that football to, and then Garrett Schrader making the smart decision there to just go down and not fight for extra yardage when you've got 3 guys corralling you.
So 30 seconds in, and Syracuse behind the chains, 2nd down and 15. And a little slow coming out of the huddle as well. Play clock already down to 8. Designed rollout for Schrader. To the sideline, incomplete, intended for Damian Alford. Let's check our impact players.
You saw them try to get the ball to Damian Alford right there. They really want to get him going, but the impact players for today's game are going to be number 1, LaQuint Allen Jr., the one they tried to get the football to. He has been a jack of all trades, running the football and catching the ball out of the backfield. And then Jared Verse. I mean, you want to talk about a bowling ball of butcher knives. This guy is an unbelievable pass rusher, top 10 draft pick potentially in this upcoming draft. And he is going to have all eyes on him from this offensive line all game long.
Hatcher in motion, Schrader, long throw to the sideline, and Fentrell Cypress, the second there, in coverage for the 2nd time. That time, the ball found its way to Hatcher, but a couple of yards shy of a 1st down. So it will be 4th down and a 1.5 yards. And Garrett Schrader looking over to the sideline. Little delay before Dino Babers sends out the punt group, but now it will be officially a 3-and-out to start for the Orange.
And that's the right decision by Dino Babers. Listen, it's early in the game. When you have situations like they had on 1st down where you lose yardage, it's not a good idea for your offense to put themselves behind the chain. Punt the ball away. Trust your defense that is one of the best in the country, even though they've struggled the past 2 weeks in ACC play, and just play for the next down.
Just getting it away is Stonehouse. Keon Coleman from the 22. Going to try to use his speed to get outside. Set up a return, but he will go down inside the 20-yard line. A 44-yard punt. He lost 2 on the return as Anwar Sparrow. Excellent kickoff or coverage on the punt return.
And you know, Bob, everybody focuses on Jordan Travis's speed, and trust me, they're great. But what he's doing inside the pocket as a thrower is unbelievable with his anticipation. Right here, he's got a shake route by Johnny Wilson. And watch when he throws this football. Not only are his feet set, but he's got a free runner coming at him. And because he has a quick release, he's able to get this ball out and be accurate for a touchdown. People need to pay attention to him as a thrower. He always throws the ball to what seems like the right spot.
Without Johnny Wilson today. And looking at a 5-man rush to start, but on target. First catch of the game and a gain of 11 for Keon Coleman. So it's quickly a Florida State 1st down. And you think Jordan Travis is one of the most underrated players right now in college football?
100%. Look at that. Look at the total offensive yards he's had, and he's 2nd in FSU history. He is a great football player, and there's something to say about that. I liken him to a guy like Brock Purdy, who is having extreme success with the San Francisco 49ers right now.
Bobbling the football is Travis, but he maintains his composure and dives ahead for a gain of 5.
Right here, we call this don't panic, all right? You don't catch the snap cleanly. It's a little high. Just get it, get vertical as fast as you possibly can, and move on to the next down. I'm telling you right there, in those moments, a lot of people would panic, but right there, Jordan Travis showed you just how composed he can be.
Trey Benson tries to move the pile. Ends up about 1.5 yards shy of the first down. Well, Jordan Travis began his career at Louisville, but amidst the chaos of Bobby Petrino's final year, ends up at Florida State, called it his dream school. In the 21 season opener against Notre Dame, he threw 3 interceptions and was booed off the field.
Yep.
And there was a great piece on ESPN.com. David Hale, Andre Adelson wrote it about how he almost quit football. And now he finds Jaheim Bell for a 3rd down conversion and a 1st down. And Jordan Travis was in a meeting with Mike Norvell, and Mike Norvell said, look, you don't have to convince me you're a good player. You go out in the lobby, look at the 3 Heisman trophies that are out there in the lobby.
Oh, yeah.
I'm convinced you can be on that list.
Yeah,
that's how much faith I have in you as a player.
I'm convinced he can do it too. As you saw that completion to Jaheim Bell, I know they're happy to have him back and contributing in a big way. And we'll continue to tell the Jordan Travis story after this play.
They'll go empty as Florida State across the 50. Again, a 5-man rush. Seam shot. Coleman. One-handed grab. Keon Coleman climbs the ladder. And it's a Florida State 1st down to the 22. A gain of 27. It doesn't get prettier than that.
Oh, my Lord. Watch this throw. And Keon Coleman's going to say, I don't need 2 hands. I just need 1. Get out of here, little boy, as he catches that over Jason Simmons Jr. Woo, what a highlight catch that was.
The crowd buzzing from that Keon Coleman catch as Florida State with a 1st down at the Syracuse 22. Screen. Coleman gets a block. Lost the football. It squirts free along the sideline. Still loose. And who has it? It looks like it will stay with Florida State. Syracuse has 12 takeaways so far this season. 3rd best in the ACC.
Ooh, really put his hat right on the football. Got to have that ball protection right there if you're Keon Coleman. Put 2 hands on it when you get into close contact. Otherwise, things like that can happen. They're very, very fortunate to get that ball back.
Elijah Clark jarred it free, and it was Trey Benson that hustled over and recovered the fumble. And now we're going to have replay involved as we will step aside.
You want to get food, or you?
Ugh.
Field stands as we expected. I guess replay wanted to make sure that whoever recovered the fumble did not come from out of bounds, but why they ever would have thought Trey Benson would have come from out of bounds, he was coming from the hash marks to recover the fumble. There is the recovery, so the play stands, but this one's worth another look.
Oh, yes, it is. Look at that one-hand snaggeroni. You know what they say about big hands, Bob, right? Big gloves and a great catch radius.
That's exactly what they say.
Yes, exactly.
Might get that crocheted into a pillow. 2nd down and 11 at the 23-yard line. A loss of 1 after that play is Travis on a rollout. Checks it down, and there's Keon Coleman making another catch. This one into the red zone to the 16-yard line, so now 3rd down and about 4.5. 4th catch already for Keon Coleman, who was rising up Mel Kiper's big board.
Yeah, kind of like he used to rise up on the goal on the basketball court. This guy was at Michigan State playing football and basketball. They're going to move him around a ton today. 4 catches already on the 1st drive. You already know he's a big part of their offense.
Philly. 1st down and more to the 5. 1st and goal for Florida State as he is out of bounds inside the 3. They'll mark him down at the 2. Chase Simmons made the stop.
I love the pen and pull. Got the big fella outside running with him. Lawrence Philly just makes a good job of just following his blocks. And they've really been impressed with him. They said he's one of the most improved players because he's put on 20 pounds of muscle for this season alone so that he can run in between the tackles. But right there, he shows you just how dynamic he can still be on the edge.
9th play of the drive, 1st and goal. Travis, low snap, scoops it up. He'll try to do it himself, and he's across. Florida State opens with a touchdown.
Well, that's the 2nd time we've seen a bad snap force Jordan Travis not to panic and get vertical with the ball. You see it right here, a little low. Bobbles it, doesn't get a chance to make quite the right read, and then he just gets vertical for that 2-yard touchdown. What a drive. 9 plays, 80 yards, 4 minutes and 19 seconds. Listen, Florida State, like you said in the open, Bob, look like they're back.
When Jordan Travis threw a touchdown pass in overtime against Clemson a couple of weeks ago. He broke the all-time touchdown responsible for record at Florida State, and he just keeps adding to it. 5 for 5, 56 yards. And the highlight reel moment of this drive, climbing the ladder, was Keon Coleman.
Yes, it was. Look at that. What a grab. And then they finish it off with a touchdown. Doesn't matter about the mistakes. It matters about the end result. Florida State's on top.
Inez, let me ask you, you're using Head & Shoulders, right?
Only when I see Flip.
Well, the Friday Night Block Party, the official tailgate event of Florida State football. Thousands of fans gather in College Town every Friday night before the home games. And they have all packed O'Campbell Stadium today to watch the Noles take an early 7-0 lead. And it will come out to the 25-yard line on the touchback. Let's check in for the first time with Kevin DeGandhi.
Bob, good afternoon. Time now for our All-State Good Hands Play of the Day book. Less than 3 minutes into the game. Number 1, Georgia already down to Vanderbilt.
Really good play to sign. Stack release. The inside receiver runs the nickel defender off. Outside receiver comes in. Vandy is up, baby.
Whoa, Ken Seals, the London Humphreys. Commodores making it look easy so far. 7-0. Back to you guys.
Well, we'll see how long that lasts. Can Garrett Schrader engineer a drive here on a dive ahead by LaQuint Allen Jr. for a gain of a couple on first down? I might take issue with the good hands play taking place in a different game than the Keon Coleman catch that we saw. I would nominate that one.
I would certainly nominate that one as well, but of course they're in the studio, so they don't get to see it quite like we get to see it.
Schrader again in the shotgun with Allen to his right. 2nd down and 8. Quarterback run. Schrader delays a bit, allows the blocks to form up, and then picks up 7. Make it 3rd down and short. Kalen DeLoach made the tackle.
And this has to be a huge part of Garrett Schrader's game today. Last time he played Florida State, he ran for 137 yards. This Florida State defense has struggled at times with guys that have a little bit of mobility. Schrader has to make that a part of his game and really spark this offense so that they don't have a deja vu moment from the past few weeks where by the time they got to halftime, the game was over.
They're going to load up with 3 tight ends. 3rd down and 1. LaQuint Allen breaks a tackle. He's got the 1st down and more. That's a good run by LaQuint Allen as he slipped 3 behind the line of scrimmage. Tatum Bethune could not bring him down. And that becomes an orange 1st down.
And Tatum, LaQuint Allen does a nice job of just riding the wave. You're going to see him go and break outside, break that tackle by Tatum Bethune, and then get his shoulders down and fall forward. They tried to throw the ball to LaQuint Allen on the first play of their first drive. Now they're realizing, man, we just got to put it in his hands and allow him to make plays.
Allen again. Not much there on the cutback. Still grinds out 2.5 to 3 yards to make it 2nd down and 7. Do you think Syracuse, they can go quick when they need to? But do you like the idea of them trying to shorten the game as best they can against Florida State, or no?
We've had this discussion for weeks, right? If you're a team that goes fast, you want to kind of stay true to your identity. Syracuse right now is going to try to utilize 3 different tempos. They call it red, green, and yellow. Red, they're going to go slow like they are right now. Yellow will be a little bit of a check with me, get to the ball, hurry up. And then green is go as fast as you possibly can. I think they want to temper the storm, and as like they told us, they just want to hold serve here in the first half.
Here comes the blitz. And the blitz gets home. Kalen DeLoach made the stop. Akeem Dent came on a safety blitz as well, so they were gearing up to try and stop the run. And Garrett Schrader only dives ahead for about a yard, so it's 3rd down and 6.
Yes, and when we talk about holding serve, what they want to do, obviously, is not have what happened against Clemson where they gave up 21 points off of turnovers. They're trying to make sure that by the time this thing gets to halftime, they still have a fighting chance to win. Here on 3rd and 6, they have to find a way to get number 5, Damian Alfred, involved in this offense. He's down here at the bottom of your screen, the big, tall, lanky receiver.
Stacked. Schrader looks that way with a pump fake and a deflected ball at the line of scrimmage. So now it will be 4th down, and Syracuse has a chance to change field position. They drive it close to midfield, but Patrick Payton knocked this one down.
Yeah, and you see Schrader, when you're throwing across the middle of the field, you got to make sure you have that high release point as a quarterback. But I mentioned Damian Alfred, and right there on that play, he's running down the sideline in a one-on-one situation. Now, if you don't know, Damian Alfred is 6'6". If you're Garrett Schrader, you have to give him an opportunity to go up and make that 50-50 ball catch so you can get your offense rolling.
Wobbly kick to the sideline. Stays in bounds and now hops out. That is not the punt that they were hoping for from Jack Stonehouse, as it will be the 25-yard line after only a 29-yard punt for Stonehouse. 200 yards and a couple of touchdowns against Virginia Tech. Keon Coleman tied for first in the ACC in touchdowns, and of course Travis tied for second in the ACC in touchdown passes with 12. So RG3, he has plenty of weapons to go to.
Yes, he does. Like I said in the open, he's the peanut butter, but those guys are the jelly, and together they make it all happen.
Play action. Thrown behind Destin Hill. It will be 2nd down and 10. Down to Chris.
Yeah, Robert mentioned Keon Coleman wanting to play basketball when he went to college, and he did for his freshman year. But after sophomore year football season in Michigan State, he was banged up. He said it was never really a decision. I just knew I wasn't going to be healthy enough to be able to play both. And at the end of the day, I just wanted to do what was best to support my family. Growing up with a single mother, 1 of 5 kids. And when you look at where he is on draft boards, picking football was the right decision.
Yeah, he probably will be able to provide that family support as Travis spins out of trouble. Rifles one to the sideline, and that's broken up, intended for Hill. Once again, Randy Livingston was the AAU coach for Keon Coleman before he went to Michigan State. Of course, Randy Livingston knows Tom Izzo. Tom Izzo told Randy Livingston, according to an article I read, he thought if Keon Coleman a couple of years ago would have chosen basketball as well, they would have gone to the Final Four. Like, that's how good he thinks he could be on the basketball court. But I agree with Chris. I think he made the right choice.
If his coach is saying that he was that good at basketball, let me tell you guys, I'd have picked basketball over football 100% of the time.
3rd down and 10. Travis tucks it down. Dodging tacklers, and Syracuse will get a stop. Kavon Darton eventually brought down Jordan Travis, but that's a 3 and out for the Noles, and that is potentially flipping the field, just what Syracuse needed.
This is what you have to do when you play against Jordan Travis. You have to coverage, and then when he decides to scramble, you have to rally and get him on the ground before he can start getting going. Nice job by Syracuse there. And back to that Keon Coleman conversation, you know, he's not the first guy that's tried to play both. There's a guy here, very famous, Charlie Ward, who's an amazing Heisman Trophy winning quarterback that played basketball and ended up playing in the NBA. So for Keon Coleman, maybe that dream's not quite dead, but he does look to be a first-round draft pick in the NFL.
Alex Mastromano leads the ACC in average yards per punt. This one's not going to be nearly as far as his normal 48.4 average. That is 48. A little more hang time than I expected as he forced DeMarcus Adams into a fair catch. Kick off your Week 6 NFL Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern with the Countdown crew on ESPN and the ESPN app. Joe Buck and Troy Aikman then Monday Night Football at SoFi Stadium. And it should be a good one. Justin Herbert and the Chargers take on Dak Prescott and the Cowboys, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC, ESPN, and ESPN Deportes. As Charlie Ward has his number up in the Ring of Honor here at Doak. First down, LaQuint Allen. Through traffic. Out to the 32-yard line for 6 yards on first down. Gilbert Edmond made the stop.
And this is what Syracuse's offense has to do. They have to be willing to grind out long drives running the football. This Florida State defense is built to rush the passer, especially with the guy we talked about earlier, number 5, Jared Verse on the other side. Run the football at them, make them have to commit to that, and then it can open up windows in the passing game on the outside.
You saw LaQuint Allen Jr. has already about doubled his production from last year this season. 3 career 100-yard rushing games, 2 of those this season. Schrader, quarterback draw. He won't get back to the line of scrimmage. Lost a couple. Now it will be 3rd down and 6, back to the 30-yard line. Fabian Lovett in on the stop. Fabian Lovett was a teammate of Garrett Schrader at Mississippi State. when both were freshmen back in 2019.
So you know he's licking his chops at the opportunity to be able to hit his former teammate. But right there, they had a 5-man box. Schrader made the right decision by going with the quarterback draw against that light box, but the line did not hold on to their blocks long enough for him to get past the line of scrimmage.
3rd down and 6. Blitz coming. One-on-one out on the edge. Incomplete. Damian Alford got locked up along the sideline by Azarie Thomas.
Azarie Thomas, they both get hands on, so, you know, that's fair game. When we talk about these defensive holding or pass interference calls, if both guys are holding each other more times than not, the refs are going to let that go. Alford has to play bigger there, but when you talk about defensive coverage, he put the straps on him right there. Azarie Thomas, very nice coverage there in the end.
Syracuse punting for the 3rd time. Much better kick this time from Stonehouse. Coleman, returnable from just inside the 20. Bouncing around and eventually goes down at the 19-yard line as we go back to Kevin Nagandi.
Bob, Ohio State has Penn State next weekend, missing some key players on offense today. But Dan, against Purdue, they've got Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, he gets all-out pressure. Marvin Harrison Jr. starts at the inside receiver. He runs to the back pylon. Great air on that throw.
They would miss the extra point, 6-0. And Georgia responds. Book at Nashville. Big run here, Kendall Milton.
Down 7-0 to Vandy. What does Georgia do? Turn to that powerful run game and get physical.
Carson Beck would score on a plunge. Right now, we are tied in Nashville, Bob. RG3, back to you.
Alongside Robert Griffin III and Chris Button, I'm Bob Wischusen. Back to the offense for Florida State with a 7-0 lead. Wide receiver screen. That's Jaheim Bell. And the tight end weaves his way for 9.
You say wide receiver screen, and I wouldn't say you're wrong, because Jaheim Bell is one of those tight ends that we're seeing come into the NFL now in that Travis Kelce mold. The guys that can really spread out a defense and can do multiple things in the pass game.
C.J. Campbell Jr. springs free. Brought down at the 47 of Florida State. A gain of 19. Justin Barron, playing with that club on his hand, came over to make the stop.
Yeah, they do a really nice job cutting the defense off, allowing C.J. Campbell to get to the second level without being touched, and he finishes the rest right there. You saw all those offensive linemen turning their guys because they're trying to seal them off from being able to get to the running back.
Play action. Travis, he wants a seam shot to Bell, and it's incomplete. Adam free, but too tall with the throw. It'll be 2nd down and 10 near midfield. Jordan Travis knows he missed one.
Yeah, we saw that one in practice yesterday. Whenever they get that 2-safety look and that guy going right down the pipe, he hit Jaheim Bell in practice yesterday, but today just a little bit too much for him. Got to know your receiver in those moments and understand you got to put it on him. Don't lead him too far down the field.
And talking to Alex Atkins, the offensive coordinator, he expects some zero blitz once Florida State moves down the field. Slant in stride. Darion Williamson, 1st down, and then some. 15 more.
You're going to see Darion Williamson threaten him with speed, then get flat, get ready to use the stiff arm. They're going to need a lot more out of him in this game because they don't have Johnny Wilson, the Birdman, playing, and he's showing that he's ready to produce today.
Trey Benson follows his blockers, but Syracuse does a good job of getting a push up front and limiting Benson to a gain of 1. Kevon Darton, Leon Lowry sandwiched Benson at the line of scrimmage. And Trey Benson got a phone call from Dalvin Cook when he was struggling through the first 4 games. Dalvin Cook told him, keep it up. It's going to pop. Last week, I would say it did.
Oh, yeah. 11 carries for 200 yards. Yes, it certainly popped. And it's part of what Alex Atkins talked to us about. This offense hasn't truly got going yet, and we'll talk about that a little bit more after this play.
Travis wants to flip the screen left and does. Marquiston Douglas only manages 3 yards. That'll make it 3rd down and 6.
Yeah, so you're going to see they bring everybody in. Jordan Travis gets depth because there's a free runner at him. And Marquiston Douglas, nice job securing the catch, getting positive yards. Nothing wrong with that play. But when we talk about this offense and how they haven't put it all together, it's been one guy shining, not all of them together. So they want to get everyone working on the same page at the same time.
Florida State, one last snap before the end of the quarter, and Travis running for his life. Throws it away. Pushed back near midfield before he finally threw it away. And Caleb Okechukwu putting pressure on Jordan Travis. 1 quarter in the books. Florida State with a 7-0 lead. Syracuse gets a stop back after these messages and a word from our ABC station.
The neighborhood. It's where life comes alive.
By Head and Shoulders. This is Avocados from Mexico Tailgate Week. Bob Wischusen, Robert Griffin III, Chris Budden here at Bill Campbell Stadium. Florida State begins the second quarter trying to extend their lead to 10-0. Ryan Fitzgerald from 48. Number 15 all-time at FSU, and points scored. And he converts here. Seminoles are now on top 10-0. A moment ago, Chris Budden caught up with Dino Babers.
Coach, a good job defensively. When you guys get the ball back, what do you need to be able to do to sustain possessions?
Well, first of all, we got to get some first down, but we had that 2nd and 6. We probably should have put 2 more runs in there, but we're going to do the things we need to do to win the game, okay?
Appreciate it. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Chris.
RG3, we've seen quarterback run multiple times from Garrett Schrader. LaQuint Allen already with 4 carries as well, and it sounds like Dino Babers wants the ground attack to be even more emphasized.
Yeah, it's exactly what I said before. If you're trying to get your best players involved, those are their 2 best players. Run the football with them, but also at the same time, for their offense, really with that tempo, you can't get tempo going until you get that first down. Otherwise, you're off the field immediately. So he has a massive focus on that, and let's see if they can put it together on this next drive.
And of course, Florida State, 42.4 points per game, number 1 in scoring in the ACC, number 6 in America. You run the football, you keep them off the field.
Oh, 100%. You don't want this thing to get out of hand right now. They're down by 10. If they can put the running game together, they can kind of climb back into it.
Well, their defense has gotten a couple of stops. And again, let's go right back down to Chris.
Bob, as we honor those who serve, brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union, let's take a look at Luther Babers Jr., the father of Syracuse head coach Dino Babers. He served over 20 years in the U.S. Navy. He was also a semi-professional football player while in the service. Coach Babers credits his father for teaching him the important values of discipline and doing things the right way. He joked with us that he just grew up differently, that when all the other kids could do something and his father said no, that meant no. There was no arguing.
I think his players sense the same thing. Little tight end tunnel screen. And that is good for a first down. Dan Bellari, the old quarterback, weaves his way for 11. He was at Michigan as a quarterback, buried on the depth chart, decided to transfer to Syracuse, but behind Garrett Schrader, well, they decided to switch him to tight end. And now he's a weapon.
Yeah, we talked to their offensive coordinator, Jason Beck, and he said, yes, we know he's a former quarterback, but when he did have the ball in his hands as a runner, he was dynamic. So he's still working out how to run routes and get open, but when he does get the ball in his hands, they do believe he can be a dynamic weapon for them.
Quint Allen. He's got 5 yards on first down. Again to Kevin.
Indiana in the big house with a big-time call here. Look at the trickeration, Dan. Donovan McCulley to Jalen Lucas wide open.
Yeah, perfect moment in the situation. 1st and 10, they run the double pass. It's a great score for Indiana. What flavor jelly, RG3?
It's good to know they're paying attention.
Well, Dano, I am a strawberry jelly type of guy, so that to me is the best one. I don't know what he thinks. I don't know if he even puts jelly on his sandwiches. Maybe he's just a peanut butter guy.
Some early interesting scores in college football. As the Quint Allen, not much on 2nd down, no gain. It'll be 3rd down and 5. You've got Michigan trailing toward the end of the first quarter to Indiana. Georgia has scored. They're still locked at 7 with Vanderbilt, and Florida State with a 10-0 lead here, but Syracuse's defense has gotten a couple of stops.
Yeah, they have gotten a couple stops, and they're trying to give this offense time to get rolling. This Florida State defense can be a problem for you with what they have up front and all the match coverage that they play on the back end. We know, talking to the Syracuse offensive coordinator Jason Beck, they wanted to attack those coverages. So far, they have not been able to do that.
Syracuse needs a third down conversion here. The blitz on the way. One-on-one. LaQuint Allen has the first down. And more. Oh, he steamrolls his way to the 41-yard line of Florida State. A hammer looking for a nail. LaQuint Allen, a big play.
Yes, it was. And watch him catch it here. Get it in that hand. Use the stiff arm and then boom, barrel his way for a first down. That was a very, very nice finish. You see him right here. Determination to go and get that first down. These Syracuse Orange do not want to come out of here and get blown out. And you're seeing some of their best players put it on the line for them to stay on the field.
So the first play in plus territory for the Syracuse offense. They needed that third down conversion badly. That's a backwards pass. This is a trick play. Right back to Garrett Schrader. Can they block it up for him? He gets tripped up, a gain of only 8. Donovan Brown back to the quarterback. Ventrell Cypress, though, stayed home and was able to bring down Garrett Schrader.
Yeah, these types of games, when you're going up against a top 4 team in the country, you're going to run some trick plays. But really nice job there by Ventrell Cypress II, closing the space and then getting the big quarterback on the ground.
Did Donovan Brown take long enough to sell that?
When you have guys that haven't truly thrown the football all that much and it's not really what they do, they're going to be a little quick in certain situations. So I wouldn't say he didn't sell it enough. I would just say the defense did a really nice job of rallying and paying attention to what was going on.
Momentary stoppage there as they had to repair the down and distance markers on the sideline. LaQuint Allen up the middle. First down inside the 25-yard line. So the best drive so far for Syracuse. 8 more for LaQuint Allen Jr. as again Cheyenne Brown and Conrad Hussey combined to bring him down.
Hey, Bob, why don't we have digital markers by now? I feel like everything's already digital. We're in the old days of having the chains. What's your take on that one?
Sure. LaQuint Allen again. Nope. A good fake by Schrader. That one he did sell, and he picks up 4 yards to the 20-yard line. Another tackle for Cheyenne Brown.
As a quarterback, I love it when we see these types of plays. Remember Peyton Manning down in the goal line when he'd do the fake and he'd kind of sit there for a second and then sneak his way out the back end? Well, I can tell you right now, for Garrett Schrader, they're not looking at him like Peyton Manning. They know that this guy can run, so the defense is keen to him breaking the pocket. So right there, although he did a nice job trying to sell the fake, better job by Florida State's defense of keeping their eyes on him at all times.
8th play of the drive. 2nd down and 6 in a phone booth. They just try to play bully ball. LaQuint Allen, not much. Florida State's defense does anything but get bullied. And it will be 3rd down now, and at least 5, maybe 6. We knew we would get a heavy dose of LaQuint Allen Jr., and that has certainly been the case so far.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at his stats for today, he's already dominating the numbers, but at least for the team. But on the season, he's got 20 catches and 87 rushes. Like, this guy is their offense. And, you know, Adam Fuller knew that coming in, Florida State's defensive coordinator, that they have to be keen to where he's at on the field.
There's a seam shot. Incomplete. Yamari Hatcher tried a one-handed catch. That'll be 4th down at the 20-yard line, so Syracuse will have to settle for 3.
You know, Yamari Hatcher saw Keon Coleman make that throw or that catch across the middle of the field and thought he could do the same thing there. But in these moments, you got to try to go up with 2 hands. And I know that's difficult running across the middle of the field. But in today's game, you're a lot more protected as a wide receiver. So trust yourself, get 2 hands on that football, and come down for the catch.
Andre Schmidt was the all-time point-scoring leader in Syracuse history. He is gone, so now the job belongs to the sophomore Brady Denneberg. And he'll try from 37. And he's got it. Inside the right upright for Denneberg, and that gets Syracuse on the board. We've got a 1-score game again with 9.5 minutes to go before halftime here in Tallahassee. close to the salmon suit. I did not have any thought that you would put the salmon suit in harm's way. But you did.
Yeah, I did. And
you were willing.
I shook their hand, and I still have glitter on my hands.
Exactly.
From all of that.
This is going to go through the back of the end zone for a touchback. All right, how about threes, keys, Syracuse? How did they stay in this game?
Oh, yeah. Listen, the threes keys for today's game. Number one is going to be orange is the new black. The Syracuse offense has been locked up for the past 2 weeks. Garrett Schrader, LaQuint Allen, and Damian Alford have to break out and make this game a competition by going out and executing. Survive the multiverse. This FSU pass rush, it starts with Jared Verse, but they got some bad mamma jammas all over this front that can also rush the passer with Patrick Payton, Fabian Lovett, Joshua Farmer. The Syracuse's offensive line has to keep him clean. And then one-on-none, we're talking about those one-on-one situations down the field. Right now, no one's really making the most of those. They got to figure out who's going to be the one and who's going to be none in those matchups.
Benson hit behind the line of scrimmage and still manages 4 yards.
And, you know, Bob, right now what we're seeing from Trey Benson in this Florida State running game is exactly what we talked about. Sometimes they're on, sometimes they're not. And it's because today that 3-3-5 has been giving them a little bit of difficulty, and we'll break down exactly how that is here in a second.
Benson again. This time only about a yard, maybe 2. So once again, Syracuse forces third down, third and about 5. Stephon Thompson, who missed most of last year because of injury, made the tackle.
So you see the numbers that he's been able to put up so far this year. When we talked to their offensive coordinator, Alice Atkins, he said this 3-3-5, it kind of changes what you have to do as an offense, but you can't lose your identity. And I know that's why they're trying to make an emphasis on running the football, and they got to get that rolling because these guys up front are knifing gaps every single chance they can get.
Here comes the blitz. Slant. In stride. Coleman. First down.
Yeah, you're just going to see Keon Coleman run the nice slant route. I love it when big receivers run that slant. They make themselves friendly. They get their shoulders to the quarterback, and then they finish with authority.
Looks like Kevon Dart, the player down for Syracuse, so we'll step aside. Injury time out on the field. Right now, even when Florida State was struggling, this is one of the great college football towns. But we were out last night in College Town. They know the opportunity this team has created for itself.
Oh, yes. They're on the climb, right? They keep talking about that. That's their motto. Climbing to that college football playoff and putting Florida State back where their fans think they should be at.
Travis wants to take a shot for Coleman. In stride. House call. Touchdown. Season for Keon Coleman. He already has 6 catches for 114 yards and now a touchdown, and we're midway through the second quarter. And now it's a 2-touchdown lead for Florida State.
This is exactly what you want to do as a quarterback. Throw it to the open guy. Keon Coleman does the rest. Florida State's trying to open this bad boy up.
State always thought, obviously, the hometown school should offer him. So he had a big chip on his shoulder for their opener against LSU this year and scored 3 touchdowns in that game. And now he's a big play wide receiver again here today.
Yeah, so you're going to watch. Keon Coleman's going to run a slant and go. There's going to be 2 guys. The corner right here and the safety. The safety is the quarterback's responsibility. The corner is the wide receiver. So as the wide receiver goes through, he runs his slant and go. Now, when the safety takes the inside seam, Jordan Travis knows that he's got his one-on-one outside like he's been asking for, and he finds the Wi-Fi connection and airdrops a beauty in there to Keon Coleman for a touchdown. Very simple, very easy, and great execution by Florida State.
And Syracuse responds. Schrader goes down, lost the football.
So you're going to see Garrett Schrader come out on the fake. Joshua Farmer closes the space immediately and ragdolls him to the ground. Jared Verse right there to pick up the ball. That's called hustle, people. When your defensive line is that ferocious, they're going to find plays just like this. Garrett Schrader's got to be better with his ball security, but Jared Verse will take that all day long.
Jared Verse was discovered by the Florida State coaches when he was at Albany on tape, watching Albany play Syracuse. And then when he entered the portal, after he was terrorizing Syracuse as a 240-some-odd-pound defensive end for Albany, someone on the coaching staff told Mike Norvell, guess who's in the transfer portal? And they got him down here to Tallahassee, and he's still doing damage to Syracuse. First and goal. Jet sweep. Two-span. Turns the corner. Out of bounds. He is stretched out by Elijah Clark.
You talked about that Jared Verse conversation and story, and Mike Norvell told us that Jared Verse was a guy that maximized COVID, right? He went and worked out. He started at Albany as a 215-pound tight end, and now he's a 253-pound pass-rushing monster. As soon as they told Norvell that Verse was in the transfer portal, he was on the phone with him in 20 minutes. And all Jared Verse asked Mike Norvell was, Coach, are you going to give me everything you got? And Norvell said, every single day. And they're happy that he's here at Florida State.
And he sets his team up. Now second down and goal. Travis in the flat, right at the pylon. Incomplete. A low throw that Trey Benson was unable to handle. And this is a huge play now for the Syracuse defense, trying to get a stop to hold a fumble return down to the 5-yard line to only 3.
Yeah, we call it sudden change. When you're on the defensive side of the ball and your offense turns it over and you got to get right back out there on the football field, you got to shut it down. Try to make it to where the offense is held to 3 points. This could be the difference in whether this game gets out of hand or Syracuse still has a chance.
Travis lobs back corner of the end zone. Broken up. Intended for Kyle Morlock, the tight end. Elijah Clark was there again. And now, looking over to the sideline, is the offense for Florida State. Will they come off the field? They may not.
No, they're going to stay aggressive. And this was an aggressive throw right here by Jordan Travis to Mr. Kyle Morlock. Saw that play yesterday in their practice. They want to work the bottom side of the field if they get man coverage, but with the match coverage that Syracuse is playing right there, not quite the perfect look for it. But let's see what they go to here.
Well, our analytics department says this is a bad decision. 4th down and goal from the 4-yard line. And a huge opportunity for the Syracuse defense. Can they get a stop on downs? Travis rifles one. End zone incomplete. Oh, that'll juice up the Q sideline. They get a takeaway and a stop on downs after the fumble by Schrader. And we still have a 2-score game.
They tried to run the rollout. There was nothing there. Syracuse comes up with the stop.
A rebel took to the streets.
State Farm halftime report just minutes away. We got Dan, we got Boog, and we got some games. Top 3 teams early on. Those sleepy Saturdays, especially when you talk about Georgia.
Yeah, down 7-0 early. They turned to the run game and got physical Vanderbilt.
I'm watching Michigan at home, tied 7-7 with about 6 minutes to go in the second quarter. They got to get their offense going.
To Boog's point, Brock Bowers walking off the field with some help. We'll explain. Highlights coming your way. Back to you, Bob.
Well, Kevin, Syracuse needs to get their offense going as they pick up 3 yards on first down. LaQuinn Allen dodging a tackler at the line of scrimmage. 2nd down and 7. Bob Shoes in here with RG3. And Chris Budden. Now, the bad news for Florida State, they failed on 4th and goal from the 4. The good news, of course, Syracuse takes over at their own 4-yard line.
Yeah, and I think the good news even more so is that Florida State has no respect for Syracuse's offense.
That must be part of the decision there, right?
We talked about this during the break. They're like, all right, we're going to go for it because your offense is going to be backed up, and we think that they're not going to be able to get out of their own territory here. So if Syracuse can do just that, they can flip the field at least, but they certainly want to go get points.
This is going to be delay of game. As Schrader turned to call timeout, he realized the play clock had wound all the way down.
Timeout Syracuse. That's their first charge timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
And they will grant the timeout in spite of the fact that the flag was thrown for delay of game, as we'll be back in 8 seconds. Now a look from Ram Trucks.
Ram trucks built to serve.
So it will be 2nd down and 7, down at the 7-yard line. And I would think this probably has to be a conversation on the sideline for that offense before they come out on the field. Like, if you're the leader of that offense, would you turn to your guys and say, guys, they have no respect for us. They don't think we can go 96 yards. Is there a little extra jolt of energy for Syracuse when they try it out on the field after that decision by Florida State?
Yeah, I mean, there has to be a jolt of energy. Like, if you can't get up to play the number 4 team in the country, then I don't know what you could get up to do. But the bottom line is Dino Babers talked about this earlier in the week, and he talked to us about it as well. This crowd, it's been an impact on the game, and right now their offense isn't managing that very well. As you see the war chant go on and the tomahawk chop. These fans are into it. Syracuse has to give them a reason not to cheer.
Schrader from the goal line. Goes down at the 1. Shyheim Brown on the buck blitz. And nowhere to go for Garrett Schrader. 3rd sack already for Florida State.
Well, that's certainly not how you get the crowd out of it. And Shyheim Brown wasn't shy at all about getting to the quarterback and cutting him down. That's how you get a big, strong, physical quarterback to the ground right there. Schrader was thinking about running, but before he could even get that thought finished, he was already being hit.
3rd down and 13 from the 1-yard line, with the student section here in Doak breathing down their necks. Roll out for Schrader in the end zone. He wants to take a shot into double coverage. Out of bounds. Hoping for Amari Hatcher. And Hatcher had that ball float sideways onto the Florida State bench. So it will be a punt from the back of the end zone for Syracuse.
I mean, great effort there by Amari Hatcher to try to make that catch. And I'll be honest with you, Bob, there's not very many plays on 4th and 13 from your own 1-yard line that are going to be very conducive to your success. So I like the fact that Jason Beck decided to go ahead and roll the pocket so that you're not in a stationary situation, making your tackles have to block these unbelievable pass rushers for Florida State.
And Keon Coleman in midfield. Low kick, line drive, returnable from the 45-yard line of Syracuse. Starts right, cuts it back to the left, has an alley. Coleman tripped up at the 15-yard line, and a late flag thrown. Couple of late flags dropped. Aiden Bailey saved the touchdown after a 29-yard return, but there was an altercation well behind the play, and 2 flags were thrown.
Man, what a return. See what you got, Mr. Ref.
There are 2 fouls on the play, 1 live ball, 1 dead ball, both against Florida State. During the return, holding number 12. That penalty would be 10 yards from the spot of the foul. After the play, personal foul, face mask, number 12, return team, 15 more yards, be 1st down, Florida State.
So Conrad Hussey costs his team at least 25 yards in total. A couple of penalties with under 5 minutes to go before halftime.
Yeah, you see him right there in the middle of your screen. Keon Coleman does a nice job setting up the block. Oh, no. There's no way that was it. I think it wasn't that guy in the middle of your screen. It was number 12, as we talked about, Conrad Hussey, a little bit later, who was blocking his guy. And it looked like he had him inside on the block, but as the defender or Keon Coleman ran past him, he didn't release him, and maybe that's what the ref saw as the holding. I didn't see the face mask. We didn't have it there on the replay, but just wiping out such a big return there by Keon Coleman, putting them on the other side of the 50-yard line.
It's not a 39-yard change in field position, as they would have been all the way down to the 15-yard line. Instead, Florida State still great field position at their own 46, but they are now on their side of the 50, and there goes Trey Benson. They seal it up on the edge, and Benson 19 yards to the 35-yard line of Syracuse.
This is what they need to see out of Trey Benson. They're going to run this zone concept to the outside. He splits the defenders. They always say find 2, split 2. He did it twice right there. This guy is a load to handle at 221 pounds, and he can hit the home run. So Syracuse better do a much better job of getting him stopped before he gets going.
#1 in the ACC in yards per carry. They go right back to him. He pinballs for 2. 4:15 to go before halftime. It's a 2-touchdown lead for Florida State. And any chance that Syracuse has to stay in this game, RG3, you have to think here. And then to start the second half, because remember, Florida State starts the third quarter with the ball as well.
Correct.
Play action. Travis, well protected, finds the check down, but Benson can't hold on. Well, here is another chance for that Syracuse defense on 3rd down and 8.
Yeah, when we talked to their defensive coordinator, Rocky Long, he said, we got to get Florida State in 3rd and 6+ situations. Well, here you got it right now. 3rd and 8, they want to play coverage that bend but don't break and then force them into mistakes right here. So let's see what Florida State's going to try to do. We know that they love to throw the ball to Keon Coleman, but Rocky Long has to get his defense to keep their offense in the game right now.
The architect of the 3-3-5 concept. See if he brings pressure. Florida State said they expect some zero pressure in this area of the field. There's a handoff to Toafili, and it's probably 4-down territory as he comes up a yard shy of the 1st down. Stephon Thompson made the stop. FSU just went for it on 4th and goal from the 4. Yep. You have to think they're going to go for it on 4th and 1 from here.
Oh, certainly they will. And what I talked about earlier was Lawrence Toafili and how he has put on that weight to be able to run between the tackles. Some of their tendencies are that when number 9 is in the game, they go into these gadget plays and up-tempo things. But Toafili right there gets the ball, runs downhill, almost gets them a 1st down, and they're really happy about that between him and Trey Benson being able to open up their offense in different ways.
And they've got A.J. Duffy, the backup quarterback, in the game. Toafili takes the direct snap and goes up the middle. So your antennas have to be up. If you're Syracuse, did they get the stop? Jaheim Bell, pardon me, with the direct snap, and it looks like he's short. And I'm not sure Jordan Travis is all that pleased with the call that was just made as he comes to the sideline with apparent frustration as Syracuse gets another 4th down stop.
Yeah, you're going to see it right here. They get it. Wow. Just a nice job up front by Syracuse, pushing back the line of scrimmage. Florida State's offensive line did a decent job trying to turn their guys, but they never opened up that initial hole for the runner to get that 1st down. And when you saw Jordan Travis's reaction, you see Norvell upset. Jordan Travis is like, I'm the best player on the field. Why are you taking the ball out of my hands in that situation?
Marlowe Wax made the stop. You can see he was clearly short. So now what can Syracuse do with the ball before halftime as LaQuint Allen only a yard on 1st down. Malcolm Ray with the Knowles tackle.
And as you mentioned, Florida State's going to get the ball after the half. Syracuse has to find a way to get points here. 3, 7, whatever it is, they got to put something together to give them confidence going into the 2nd half that they can actually make a game out of this. So far today, it's been tough sledding.
Well, they've got plenty of time on the clock. They also have 2 timeouts. At the very least, they're trying to take time off the clock for the Knowles offense. Wide receiver screen. Can they block it up? They cannot. Nowhere to go for Ballard. And it's going to be 3rd down and at least 9. It'll actually be 3rd down and 10 as they'll say he lost a yard. Sarier Thomas made the tackle, and a timeout called by Florida State to try and preserve some clock with 2:13 to go. So today on ABC and the ESPN app, one of the biggest games of the day. And it's in the Pac-12. Bo Nix and Oregon take on Michael Penix Jr. and Washington. Number 8, number 7, Husky Stadium will be rocking at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific. And let's take a look at 2 guys that are putting up as good of numbers as any quarterback in college football.
Yes, they are, and these 2 guys are super special. Michael Penix Jr. is probably the favorite in the Heisman right now, but Bo Nix honestly has the greatest Heisman moment, and it's in a game that you wouldn't expect. It was against Colorado. Everyone's watching that game. They go out and they bulldoze the Colorado Buffaloes. This is their opportunity at Oregon to show that Bo Nix is that guy and that they can beat Washington, who's led by Penix, who has the best receiving core in the nation, led by Rome Odunze.
Garrett Schrader, roll out on 3rd down and 10. Into double coverage. This time, it is hauled in Another shot taken to Alford, and this time it pays off for a first down.
And you know what I love about this shot? It's a little corner route, but Alford goes up and makes that play because Garrett Schrader gave him an opportunity to play big boy ball. When you're 6'6", man, you better throw it up there in the rafters and let me go up there and climb and get it. Maybe that could be a spark for them to get going, but Damian Alford has to be a part of this offense in a big way for them to even have a chance at coming back and winning.
Four-man rush. And a little down and out for a couple of yards to LaQuint Allen. Good tackle by Omar Graham. And that will take the clock down inside of a minute and a half to go in the half. With Syracuse still having 2 timeouts to work with. 2nd down and 8 at midfield.
You know, we heard Dino Babers talk about how they wanted to run the ball and piece together runs. But that's one thing that Florida State has, you know, struggled with, their run defense. But Coach Fuller is going to commit guys to the box when he has to.
Check down. Allen heads south instead of north.
And when I'm talking about Adam Fuller, the defensive coordinator of Florida State, he's going to commit guys to the box when he has to, because right now Syracuse is not showing that they have the confidence in their wide receivers and pass catchers outside to truly challenge their man or match coverages. And if they're not going to do that, it's going to be tough sledding all day for Garrett Schrader and LaQuint Allen Jr. They have to find ways to create big plays and create explosives in the passing game.
They'll need another one here because that negative allows Florida State to spend another timeout. And Syracuse, their defense has gotten stops.
Yes, it has. We talked about it. They're top 10 in the country in takeaways, but what they've really been doing is just being stout at the point of attack. They haven't given up a ton of big runs. And in situational football right now, 3rd down, 4th down, in the red zone, in goal line situations, Syracuse has been better than Florida State. At least Syracuse defense has. And that's the only reason we're sitting here at 17-3 instead of it being 30-3.
Well, Syracuse a moment ago got a 3rd down and long conversion to Damian Alford. They need another one here to keep this drive alive. Another rollout for Schrader. The pursuit coming, and he throws it away. Just ran out of time, and eventually paid the price. Hit by Braden Fisk, so that will be a punt from midfield with 1:03 to go.
Well, what they tried to do was run the same play, but have Damian Alford run a different route, and Florida State was all over it. They knew that he had ran the corner previously, so this time they tried to just run him on a slot go ball down the field, and Garrett Schrader had nowhere to go with the ball. And if you're asking yourself, why are they doing these rollouts? Well, they don't really feel like they can protect by drop backing and throwing the football. So that's why they're doing it.
Coleman, fair catch. At the 12-yard line today over on ACC Network. Wake Forest takes on Virginia Tech at 3:30 Eastern. And then the ACC Huddle crew will have a 90-minute show to wrap up the afternoon with highlights and analysis and get you set for NC State Duke at 8 Eastern. After the game, stay with the ACC Network for a full post-game show to wrap up the night. All right, a quick quarterbacking question for us. Garrett Schrader rolls right. If he takes a sack there, he loses about 7 or 8 yards.
Correct.
But he also forces Florida State to call their final timeout.
Yes.
So do you take a sack there? Is that just kind of knowing time and score and thinking it's better to go down if you're the quarterback there rather than throw it away?
Yes, it is, and we'll get back to that after this play.
Travis with time now finds a crosser in Destin Hill, and he runs out of bounds and preserves some time.
Yeah, we talked about how in situational football, Syracuse defense is playing really, really well. Well, that's on your offensive coordinator and the head coach to communicate that to your offense and say, hey, Garrett Schrader, if nothing is there,
take the sack.
Take the sack, right? I don't expect Garrett Schrader to know that without having it being coached into him.
3-man rush. And that's dropped. A chance to pick up a first down for Jaheim Bell, but he couldn't hold on. As the coverage was there, Marlowe Wax, Derek McDonald, both the 2 linebackers surrounding Jaheim Bell. So now it's 3rd down and 5. 47 seconds to go before halftime. And remember, Syracuse still has 2 timeouts if they get a stop here. Travis. The crosser, wide open, the true freshman Hill. And he hurdles out of bounds good enough for a first down for FSU.
That's one part of Jordan Travis's game that people just don't really pay attention to. His willingness to go through his reads and throw the checkdowns, right? If Syracuse is going to play deep to short, he's willing to throw it underneath, allow his guys to get vertical and make plays for him. And that's why they're able to convert there on third down.
So now they'll go empty. And Syracuse forcing the checkdowns, at least forcing Florida State to bleed time off the clock and not pick up chunk plays. They'll rush 4 here. The pocket protection good once again. There's again a check down crosser. This time a little more room to run for Philly. 12 yards and a first down.
And you ask yourself, well, why is Syracuse just let these guys free run underneath? Well, coordinators or defensive coordinators have two thought processes. You can die slow or you can die fast, right? Dying slow, you're going to play coverage, try to force the offense to piece together 10, 12 play drives, and that's working perfectly here in a 2-minute drive.
The ball comes out sideways on the hit on the 3-man rush as Travis goes down. Kevin Jabity all over Jordan Travis.
Yeah, you're going to see Kevin Jabity right here at the bottom of your screen. He's going to be the one that makes this play. Getting to Jordan Travis right as he's trying to throw. That does not feel good when you're a quarterback, people. That's your blind side. You got your eyes down the field, working everything, and then you get hit in the back like that. Man, offensive line's got to protect their guy a little bit better in that situation.
And that ball came out slightly backwards, which made it a live ball. Jordan Travis looks shaken up. It's a loss of 12 yards to make it 2nd and 22. Not sure if Jordan Travis is 100% okay as they'll run it here with Philly. And now you'd think Dino Babers would call timeout. Let's see if he does. Yes, he will. With 19 seconds to go in the half, Syracuse with a chance to at least force a punt. And who knows what might happen. This season, for every field goal, an extra point made by participating universities. All-State will make a contribution to the university's general scholarship fund. Thank you to All-State. And right now, they're checking on Jordan Travis. That blindside hit. A 3-man rush that got home, shook him up, and he is in some pain.
Yeah, you talked about All-State, are you in good hands? And on this one, Jordan Travis was not being protected by his offensive line. You're going to see him, you know, laboring just a little bit. Not sure if it's his wrist or his shoulder.
It's his non-throwing hand. At least there's that. But yeah, he was immediately in pain, shaking off his hand or his wrist.
It's his hand or his wrist for sure. And I know people think you don't need that offhand at all. But as a quarterback, you got to catch the snap. You got to be able to tuck and run with the football. And it's just an accumulation of damage over the course of a game that can really start getting to a quarterback.
Travis to throw. Screen to Benson on 3rd down and a mile. So the final timeout can be used here by Dino Babers with 15 seconds to go in the half. And at the very least, he'll give his punt return group a chance to make a play.
Yep. And that's what it's going to come down to, Bob. They're going to need a big return on this punt return right here to get them in a situation to where they only need to maybe 1 or 2 completions to get in the field goal range. As we know, at the end of the half, the clock still stops after a first down in college football, so not having timeouts doesn't hurt you that much. But
and this is not what you want to see if you're a Florida State fan. There is
not at all
a quarterback that is playing about as well as any quarterback in America, heading back to the locker room ahead of his team. We'll see if Tate Rodemaker becomes the second half quarterback for Florida State, or if Jordan Travis can return to this game.
If there's anything I know about Jordan Travis, he's going to do everything he possibly can in that locker room to make sure he can come back out here and play in the second half. Tough kid. He's fought through so much. You don't want to see him go down.
Mastromano to punt. And DeMarcus Adams hoping for a chance at a return. Rugby style kick, end over end. Fair catch forced by the punt coverage group for Florida State. So a 48-yard punt, and now 9 seconds on the clock and no timeouts.
Yeah, not ideal. We said they probably needed a big return, so now if you're Dino Babers, the question is, do you just try to pop a run, see how far it goes?
Or take a knee.
Or take a knee and go into halftime. You know, Miami probably should have took a knee at the end of their game.
You think?
You know.
I'll tell you, that kind of a deep dive is why we pay you the big bucks. You're a game management master.
You gotta love it.
So there is the knee taken by Garrett Schrader, and that will take us to halftime with Florida State on top by 14. But the concern
defense, more than 11 players in the formation.
They just called a penalty against the Florida State defense with too many players on the field, possibly, with a knee being taken by Syracuse. Dino Babers, I think, might just decline the penalty, saying all we're going to do is take a knee again and go to the locker room and begin halftime. I think at this point, Syracuse would somehow need like a 30-yard penalty to be convinced to do anything less than take a knee and end the half.
So what you're saying is if they took a knee with 9 seconds, they're probably going to take a knee with 6 seconds?
And only 5 yards further up the field? Yeah, I think that's probably likely.
That's why we pay you the big bucks, man. You're a game management master.
Accept the penalty, and the clock will start on my signal.
And that should end the half.
Right back at you, Bob. You gotta love it.
So they'll wind the clock, and that will make it halftime. 17-3 is our score at the break. Coming up after the break, State Farm halftime report. Booker McFarland and Dan Orlovsky will be in the studio with Kevin Nagandi. Florida State will have the football. Will they have Jordan Travis at quarterback? We'll be back after these messages and a word from the start of the third quarter. Bob Wischusen here with Robert Griffin III. Chris Budden is with us as well. And for FSU, they got their big play guy the ball in the first half.
Yes, they did. Over 100 yards receiving in the first half alone. But it was Syracuse defense that kept them in this game by getting 2 stops on 4th down. One near the goal line and the other, obviously, there on a big 4th down run.
A touchback to start off the second half. Florida State has the football. Now, a very important story if you're an FSU fan. Jordan Travis will be out there at quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, this whole system runs through him. They built it to accentuate his strengths of throwing on the run, using his feet, and throwing the deep ball. So if he was to go down, obviously it would suck for them as an offense, but it also suck for us as a viewer because this guy is must-watch TV.
Well, you said you'd be surprised knowing him if he didn't go back there, get taped up, and be ready to come out and start the second half. And that is exactly what has happened. But they'll begin with the ground attack at Trey Benson. 4 yards on first down, maybe 5.
Yeah, you know, Jordan Travis going in early in the halftime was probably to give him just a few more minutes to do whatever he needed to do to get his hand or wrist situated. And you know what can really help a quarterback? Having a great running game. So getting Trey Benson going early here in the second half is not a bad idea.
Empty backfield. He's going to take a shot for Coleman again. Broken up. Oh, that time, step for step, it was Jason Simmons Jr. in coverage. Down to Chris.
Watching Jordan Travis run out of halftime, no extra tape on the non-throwing hand, and when he was throwing back and forth, didn't seem to wince at all during pregame warmups or pre-halftime warmups. When I was talking with Mike Norvell, he said offensively, we got to fix the mistakes, particularly in the red zone. On defense, I like how we've been able to keep them off balance. Just need to continue to play all 11 guys as one.
And 2 4th-down stops for the Syracuse defense in the first half, keeping this game at a 2-score deficit. And a 3rd down to start the second half. Seam shot. That time it connects to Jaheim Bell. 3rd down conversion for Florida State.
Yeah, you're going to see Jordan Travis recognize that he's got a 2-safety look. He knows that, hey, my shot down the middle of the field to my game-breaking tight end and Jaheim Bell is probably where I need to go, and he finds him in a hurry.
Gain of 27. Screen out to the edge. Arion Williamson gets popped after a gain of about 4. Stephon Thompson rallied to make the Syracuse tackle.
We talked about Arion Williamson and how he was going to have to come in and make some plays with Johnny Wilson being out. It's good to see him getting involved early here in the second half.
Tunnel screen. The freshman Destin Hill, he's got nowhere to go. Lost a couple of yards. Well diagnosed by Justin Barron. Now this 3-3-5 that Rocky Long has come up with as a scheme really based around Brian Urlacher playing that rover position all the way back in his days in New Mexico.
Yeah, and for Justin Barron, number 8, being that rover, those are big shoes to fill. But they don't want that rover to be in coverage situations. They want him to be in ones like that where he can knife in and make tackles in the backfield.
3rd down and 9. 3-man rush with a spy. And a crossing drop. Ja'Kai Douglas couldn't hold on. So now it's 4th down and 9 at the plus 42-yard line. The offense looking over, but it does look like the punt group will come out to try and pin Syracuse deep. So again, the Orange defense gets a stop. If their offense could ever flip the switch, this would be a football game.
Yeah, if there was a switch right now, there doesn't seem to be a switch for the Syracuse offense. But we talked about that 3-3-5 and Rocky Long. Hey, make them earn it. Make them not just have to make 1 or 2 plays. Make them have to string 6, 7, 8 plays together. And of course, Ja'Kai Douglas dropping that underneath route certainly doesn't help you, Florida State.
Mastromano forces a fair catch at the 7-yard line by DeMarcus Adams. Time now for our Aflac trivia question. Aflac. All right, this should just be a quick search for you to cheat. 3 conferences with 3 remaining undefeated teams. Which are they?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, that's easy. I don't even need to search that one.
You sure?
I think so. I think so.
The Pac-2.
Wow. Wow, you're throwing haymakers at the Pac-12?
Well,
for them to be going under, it looks like, or not be existing the way that they used to, their teams are playing at a really high level this year.
False start here as they tried to go direct snap to LaQuint Allen, but a miscommunication with the offensive line.
False start. Number 70. Offense. Half the distance to the goal. Still 1st down.
You know, Bob, when we talked about the keys for Syracuse today on offense, they wanted to hold serve. Well, being down 14 is better than being down 21 or 28. So their defense has kind of helped them do that. They have not protected the ball. They had the 1 turnover. But right now, they've got to find a way to spread this thing out because Florida State has been dominating them when you talk about in the trenches.
LaQuint Allen weaves his way out close to the 10-yard line, 4 yards. Gilbert Edmond made the tackle for Florida State, so it'll be 2nd down and long.
Yeah, you talk about that switch for Syracuse's offense. And for me, at this point, it's like, well, you kind of got to go fast. The tempo of being on red and slowing it down isn't really helping your offense get going. So why don't you spread it out? Maybe give your wide receivers opportunities to work on the 3rd and 4th best corner on the team instead of only going 2 or 3 wide, as you see him doing right here. Got 4 wide receivers.
Play action, slant, knocked down at the line. Kalen DeLoach, Cheyenne Brown both got in the passing lane.
Yeah, this is just Kalen DeLoach reading the offensive lineman, the high hats, and then getting up, and these guys are just playing volleyball there on the 2nd level. You know, I ran into Kalen DeLoach's dad yesterday when we were eating down there in College Town, and I told him, like, when your boy makes a couple good plays, we're gonna make sure we say something nice about him. And so far today, they haven't had to do too much, but knocking the ball down on a play action slant is certainly a good thing.
And Brown knocked it down. Had it not been Brown, it would have been DeLoach.
There you go.
Looked like there was anywhere for that ball to go. Right up the middle. Allen on 3rd down. Really no chance to get anywhere near the 1st down. So Syracuse conservatively running the football on 3rd and long. And they will come up 4 yards shy and punt. DeLoach and DJ Lundy were there to make the tackle. So they need Jack Stonehouse to try and change field position as Garrett Schrader. And the frustration continues for this Syracuse offense. They get pinned deep. It's a 3 and out. And a pretty good punt here from Stonehouse. Drives Coleman all the way back to his own 33. Bounced backwards with a flag down. And Morris Sparrow made the tackle after a 54-yard punt and a 6-yard return.
Holding. Return team. Number 3. At a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Be first and 10, Florida State.
So Florida State with the football back, a 17-3.
I'm going to say Big Ten, ACC, and Pac-12.
That's right. But the Pac-12, by the way, is not going to have 3 for too long because we have a matchup of undefeateds coming up. Oregon and Washington, part of that ninesome of undefeated teams in those 3 leagues.
A ninesome.
You got Michigan and Ohio State. Boy, that could be a huge game at the end of the season as well, depending on how things shake out. As Jaheim Bell gets loose. High step into midfield. An ankle tackle. All the way down to the Syracuse 31-yard line. Another big play made by Jaheim Bell. He picks up 39.
Made by Jaheim Bell, but it's because Jordan Travis's ability to extend the play. He gets it to Bell, and then Bell does the rest. Just picking up those feet, trying to find his way to the end zone. Oh, nice job.
Benson gets a push, still on his feet. Not going down easy to the 23-yard line. 7-yard gain, and about 5 of those yards at least after contact.
Yeah, when you look at Trey Benson, man, just continually falling forward, working those legs, using his size to his advantage.
Benson again. Running through arm tackles to the 10-yard line. 14.
One thing Trey Benson does really well is go from horizontal to vertical with energy and vengeance. Look at him picking up his feet, not allowing those arm tackles to slow him down. When you come to tackle Trey Benson, you better bring the entire truckload or he will run you over.
There he is again. Down to the 5-yard line. It will be 2nd down and goal for Florida State. Benson runs through another tackle at the line of scrimmage. Gets inside the 2. For the first guy, very rarely brings down Trey Benson.
Nah, the 100% right there, Bob. The first guy rarely does. And it seems like Mike Norvell, offensive coordinator Alex Atkins, came on the second half and said, we're going to run them over. We're going to show them that we're the number 4 team in the country.
Travis, this time the fake to Benson. Syracuse buys it, and Barron can't bring down Jordan Travis before another Florida State touchdown.
What a nice job there by Jordan Travis. Reading the second level of the defense, seeing that Justin Barron was stuck behind the defensive end and couldn't react fast enough to keep him from getting in the end zone. Way to use that quarterback-driven run in the red zone. They don't do it too often, but in the red zone, it becomes their bread and butter.
A quarterback that was booed a couple of years ago, that thought about giving up on football, continues to now add to his record for most touchdowns responsible for at Florida State. Make it 87 total now for Jordan Travis. There's Charlie Ward tipping a hat to the crowd.
What a player, man. Charlie Ward.
What a team.
Certainly should have been drafted in the NFL.
Kickoff through the back of the end zone. Another touchback. Open out to the 25-yard line with 9:11 to go in the 3rd quarter. And Florida State now on top by 3 touchdowns. And speaking of legends here at Florida State, Grente Griffin, the wife of our very own RG3.
Oh, man. She's a Florida State record holder, 3-time All-American, 2-time ACC champion. And there's your boy. Pointing at her name. Now, she was Shadeko, but we put that lasso and got her to change that name to Griffin.
I like the action photo as well with the fist pump going as LaQuinn Allen is up the middle for about a yard.
You know, Bob, she is the best athlete in the family.
Oh, by far.
By far. Heptathlete, doing 7 events, going out there, balling out. Very,
Can you name the 7 events, or would this be maybe grounds for divorce if you can?
It would be grounds for divorce.
You can't name them?
I can name them, though. You're talking about the 200, the 100 hurdles. You're talking about the 800,
okay.
Shot put, javelin. Let's see what else we got.
That's 5.
A high jump. And I'm missing one there. Did I say long jump?
Not yet.
I don't think I said long jump.
Got it all
Good. We got all seven.
We can stay married.
Thank you for saving my marriage.
Allen with a cutback on the jet sweep. 2 yards shy of a first down. DJ Lundy, Kalen DeLoach there again. So 3rd down and 2. Syracuse put together a drive to maybe get their way back in this game midway through the 3rd quarter, but now they find themselves down by 3 scores.
Yeah, they're down by 3 scores, and I said it before, they need to open up this system, right? They got to take some chances throwing the football down the field. But here on 3rd and 2, this might be another situation where you just line up and you say, we got to be able to get 2 yards, but it certainly feels like it's 4-down territory.
Breaking free, LaQuint Allen. Couple of stiff arms breaking tackles and making defenders pay all the way down to the Florida State 40-yard line. Finally, it was Kevin Knowles that got him on the ground.
And we talked about running the football. They do nice eye candy with the motion, and then they get LaQuint Allen Jr. to ride that inside zone wave and cut back, finishing with authority. This team is not giving up. They need more good things like that to happen for them to try to claw their way back.
Only the 2nd time today that Syracuse offensively has crossed the 50-yard line. And they were only able to manage a field goal on the one other drive they got into plus territory. Schrader out of the pocket. And it's going to hoist this one down the sideline, hoping for Damian Alford. And Trell Cypress, who last year at Virginia was number 3 in America in passes defense, was walling off Alford.
And you know, one thing that goes unnoticed there is Kalen DeLoach, number 4. They know that Garrett Schrader is a very good runner. So right there, he's camping out in that quarterback spy position and rallies to Schrader as he's breaking the pocket, forcing him to have to throw the football and not be able to use his legs. Want to make sure we shout him out for doing his job and doing it effectively.
Muffed snap. Schrader picks it up and throws it up over the head of Donovan Brown, out of bounds.
Of course, throwaways, we hate them as quarterbacks, but whenever the ball goes behind you and you don't have anything, you got 2 Florida State Seminoles right there in your face. That's the smartest play you can make. And sometimes as a quarterback, when you're trying to claw your way back into a game, it can be difficult to make those types of plays. Good on Garrett Schrader for keeping his composure and throwing the football away like he's supposed to.
Well, you have to think clear-cut 4-down territory for Syracuse. 3rd down and 10 from the 40-yard line. This might be a free play. Patrick Payton jumped. Why not take a shot? And turning around and making the catch is Hatcher. That's good for a 1st down into the red zone. Smart by Garrett Schrader. Knew he had a free play. 22 yards.
Defense number 11. That penalty decline. Result of the play, 1st down.
Yeah, you're going to see this is that Aaron Rodgers type play. Go with the hard count, get him to jump off sides. Hey, free play. Throw the ball down the field. Very decisive throw there by Garrett Schrader off the back shoulder to Yamari Hatcher. Like I said, just piece together good things happening. Maybe it'll start making Schrader feel in more rhythm throwing the football down the field.
LaQuint Allen brought down at the line of scrimmage. Another tackle for Lundy.
You know, LaQuint Allen seems to be the only one that's been got going for Syracuse, 80 yards rushing. If you're DJ Lundy and these linebackers, you're seeing them start to knife the gaps a little bit sooner because they know that once LaQuint gets going, he's running with so much tenacity at that 2nd level. If they can get at his legs before he gets past the line of scrimmage, they have a better chance of stopping.
There's the toss. And Allen able to carry a tackler down to the 13-yard line. Kalen DeLoach flowed over to make the stop. Another big 3rd down coming here for Syracuse.
And just as I said that, DeLoach gets into the backfield and runs him down from the inside out like you were mentioning.
Can they keep the drive alive as we come up on 5.5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter?
And the thing to notice there is that LaQuint Allen right now is averaging more yards per rush than he has on the season, which means that if you're Dino Babers and Jason Beck, continue to lean on him as much as you can, even though you're down by this much.
Schrader, tipped ball incomplete. And you think they'd probably have to go for it on 4th down and 6, down by 3 touchdowns. You would think that, and I guess you'd be wrong, because here comes Brady Denneberg to try a field goal. Not sure what a field goal does for you here with 5:17 to go in the 3rd quarter, down by 21.
I'm with you. I want to just speak on DJ Lundy right there, knocking that ball down, doing a nice job passing off the crossing routes and staying in his zone. Like I said, you got to preach about guys that are doing their jobs the right way. But when you talk about this field goal, in the grand scheme of it, the analytics might say it doesn't do too much because they're down by 3 scores. But for a football team to piece together a drive, go down the field, and see a result on the scoreboard of it, there's a psychological battle that they could potentially win here by making this field goal.
And they also take a delay of game penalty because they were running a player on late. So 4th down and 6 now becomes 4th down and 11. But kicking the field goal here, you're still down by 3 scores with 5:17 to go in the 3rd. And this is only the 2nd drive of the game where Syracuse has crossed the 50-yard line.
And I think that's their mindset. It's like, listen, man, we'll take points wherever we can get them right now.
I guess if the goal is to make the score respectable, but they miss out on even that. 37-yard attempt pulled by Denneberg. So the Orange come away empty on a spot where they probably should have gone for it. 5:14 to go in the 3rd. Still a 21-point Florida State lead.
I just need some daylight savings to save myself.
Once you pick up an Arby's cheesesteak, it's going to be
passing touchdown, 253 yards through the air, and continues to quietly put up some of the best passing and overall quarterback numbers in the country. Bob Wischusen and Robert Griffin III. Chris Budden here. So a Philly to the sideline. Let's go down to Chris.
Bob Travis has a plethora of former quarterbacks at this school to lean on for support and any words of advice. He talks to Charlie Ward and Jameis Winston every single week. I said, what's the best advice they've given you? I said, Jameis actually told me this week, the best thing you can do, sleep. I know you got a lot of prep. I know you're halfway through the season, but the best thing you right now, sleep.
Wide receiver screen. And that's good for a 1st down to Keon Coleman. Seriously, for a quarterback in the middle of the season,
right,
when you've got all those thoughts always swimming around in your head, game plans and important games, how hard is it to just settle yourself down sometimes and get necessary rest?
Yeah, I mean, it's very hard because you're trying to process and think through the game at 24/7. And what I tell other quarterbacks is you just have to trust your preparation, right? If you worked hard earlier in the week, when it gets to Friday, you can relax because you already know that you have it all down pat. But it's awesome that he's talking to Charlie Ward and Jameis Winston, 2 of the greatest quarterbacks this university has ever seen.
Syracuse shows blitz. Little zone read. So a Philly. Close to the 38-yard line before he's brought down. So a gain of 6.5 on 1st down. Also pretty cool that Charlie Ward, I mean, Jameis Winston, he's playing some football of his own.
Correct.
As a full-time job. But those guys make time every week to talk to Jordan Travis. That's what it is to be a Nole. There's a shoulder fake. And the long check down to Kyle Morlock. And that looks to be good enough for a 1st down. Right about at the line to gain. Into the mark of a half-yard short.
Yeah, you love to see guys giving back to the university in ways that can't be quantified with money. Jordan Travis being the all-time leader in touchdowns here is phenomenal because they've had so many great players. And I can tell you right now, there's not a lot of defensive coordinators that are getting a lot of sleep when they have to face him.
A little extra effort, and Travis looks to have enough for the 1st down. And not a quarterback that appears high on many mock draft boards.
Man.
And that was something that you talked to Mike Norvell and Alex Atkins about yesterday.
Yeah, and we all said the same thing. It pisses us off that he's not in those top 10 quarterback rankings because this guy is efficient with the football. He's shown extreme growth from his 1st time playing, even all the way back transferring from Louisville to now. There's not many guys that you would sit there and say, this guy is a bona fide better quarterback than Jordan Travis.
Long out, misses Morlock. Do you think still with NFL talent evaluators, there's a little bit of a size prejudice that still goes on with quarterbacks where they see Jordan Travis, 6'1", 212 pounds, even with the success we have seen from some small by NFL standards quarterbacks that they're, still a little I guess, prejudicial where the smaller guys are concerned?
Yeah, I think there is a little bit of that. But when you look at a guy like Brock Purdy, who's not the tallest man in the world,
right,
and his effectiveness in being able to extend plays, Tua, Drew Brees did it when he was playing.
There's a screen, and that was well read. It's a 50-50 fight for the football. Trying to rip it out as best he could was Marlowe Wax, but Marquiston Douglas holds on and picks up about 3 yards.
Yeah, you're going to see this one right here. Jordan Travis comes out, gets the screen out, and it's like almost immediately when the receiver catches it, the defender is in there, and they are fighting for their lives. Like I said, Syracuse is not giving up out there on the football field, and there's a nice job right there of making sure they secured it by Douglas.
And it looks like Jaden Bellamy, redshirt freshman corner, that is down right now for Syracuse. So let's check in with Kevin.
Bob, AT&T 5G keeping fans connected as we take a look at our multi-view, which is showcasing a bunch of great games across all our networks. And how about Alabama in control, up 24-13 over on ESPN. Early parts of that fourth quarter, James Madison all over Georgia Southern. That game in the third quarter on ESPN2. North Texas up 31-14 over Temple. Late in the third, that contest over on ESPNU. Back to you guys.
They have rolled Jaden Bellamy over, and the redshirt freshman who made the first start of his Syracuse career last week and had 12 tackles in their game against North Carolina. And it looks like they may be looking at his hip. He's still shaking up.
Yeah, you're going to see him. He comes in there late to the pile, makes the hit, and then everybody falls down on top of him. His legs get trapped underneath him. It's the worst place you want to be as a defender or a football player in any type of situation. So we're praying that he is okay and can get up and walk this off.
And now helped up to his feet, but he is going to need some help to get off the field. And it doesn't look like he can put any weight on what is an apparent injured leg. And that's a lot of body mass falling on a player as he gets rolled up on it. He was awkwardly underneath that pile.
Yeah, as we say, football is certainly a physical and dangerous game, but we never want to see guys get hurt. And in that situation, there was nothing that he could do to get him out of that. And hopefully he will escape serious injury, but he is certainly in our prayers.
After the injury timeout, it will be 3rd down and 7 for a Florida State team ranked number 4 in this week's AP poll, the 6th consecutive top 5 ranking for Florida State. They have not been in the top 5 6 straight weeks until you go all the way back to the 13-14 season, where they were competing for national championships and were ranked in the top 5 27 weeks in a row.
Yeah, and you're going to see Keon Coleman right there in the slot. That is the guy that they want to get the football to here on 3rd and 7.
Travis into a tight window, and that one's broken up. Good read by Justin Barrett as he jumped in and helped defend the pass intended for Keon Coleman.
Yeah, you're going to see Justin Barrett come in there. Not a guy that they want in coverage, but he can certainly help out. Coleman does a nice job trying to push his defender off and come back to the football. They actually ran that play earlier in the game, and from my film study earlier in the week, I knew that that's where they wanted to go with it, and so did Syracuse.
Justin Barron, you can see playing with that club on his hand. He had been last season and even earlier this year the holder. As far as FBS teams, the only position player known that was a regular holder, but can't hold right now, obviously, because he's playing with the club on his hand. Flags down. As it looks like the play clock wound down.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
So that will back Alex Mastromano up 5 yards.
You know, this conversation about Jordan Travis and on these, these draft boards, he's not the fastest guy in the world. He's not the tallest guy in the world. But what he is a football player. And if you watch the tape of him, he always seems to put the football in the right place. It might not look as beautiful as Caleb Williams or Michael Penix Jr., but he gets the job done. And I think teams will love him when they get him in the meeting room.
False start, number 0, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
So Ja'Kai Douglas flinched, 5 more yards in the wrong direction for FSU, and some notable Heisman candidates as we enter week 7. Of course, 2 of these notable Heisman candidates going up head-to-head as Michael Penix Jr. and Bo Nix do battle this afternoon.
Exactly, and for Jordan Travis, you'll see his numbers aren't as gaudy as the other guys, but what he can do is continue to lead his team to wins, and when some of those guys falter down the stretch, maybe he'll get more consideration.
Marcus Adams chased out at the 19-yard line, and today on ABC and the ESPN app, it is one of the biggest games of the day. As we said, Bo Nix, Michael Penix Jr. square off. Number 8, Oregon. Number 7, Washington. How loud will Husky Stadium be this afternoon in a game that will not just impact the Pac-12 title race, it will impact the national championship picture. 80 or more completions, or 80% or more in your first 5 games. Small list. I recognize the name there.
Hey, man, listen. I'm honored to be on the list with Geno Smith and Bo Nix.
I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about Geno Smith.
No, Geno.
Former Jet quarterback great.
Hey, they wrote him off, but he ain't right back, though.
Schrader looking for room to run. Had room to run, instead unloads to the sideline, and smartly so to Damian Alford. That catch is good out to the 34-yard line with 1:52 to go in the third.
We'll see right here. Damian Alford goes up, makes that catch, gets 1. You know, in college football, all you need is 1. So that's all that matters. We've seen Damian Alford make some of these contested catches along the sideline, and it just begs you to say, for Syracuse, is there a way to spread this bad boy out, go 5 wide, and give Garrett Schrader more running lanes and passing lanes to throw it?
Instead, it's LaQuinn Allen. No gain on first down for Allen. At best, a half yard.
And Bob, the reason I say that about spreading it out is for a quarterback, a lot of times when you get these stacks and bunches, when you're facing teams that do match man coverage and they play those 2 shells, it can clutter everything up for you in your reads. But when you go 5 wide, you have to make them determine who's going to guard who. And it spreads everything out, gives you bigger passing lanes, especially in college football with the hashes being so wide. I wonder if that's something that they could look at doing in future weeks, if not today.
4-man rush. There's a one-on-one again for Alford. Incomplete. He was feeling the tight coverage of Azarie Thomas. So it will be 3rd down and 9. Now, if you go 5 wide, you're worried about Jared Verse, Patrick Payton, those edge rushers being turned loose.
Exactly.
Well,
and what I want people to notice is that Azarie Thomas and Damian Alford there looked like they were cuddling all the way down the field, right? So when you're a wide receiver in those situations, it's always easier to slow down than it is to speed up. Alford needs to run his routes full speed, and then if he gets a back shoulder, awesome.
All-out blitz on 3rd down and 7. Schrader off his back foot, incomplete. Hoping for Donovan Brown. Well, the pocket collapsed quickly, and he ended up taking a hit from Verse and Bethune. And it will be a Syracuse punt with 43 seconds to go in the quarter.
You know, playing for the Baltimore Ravens, I got a chance to be around one of the greatest defensive minds and defensive players. You know, the guys like Terrell Suggs and Ed Reed would come back and talk to the team. And they always said, hey, when you call that all-out blitz, you got to get home. And right there, Florida State got home and got a hit on the quarterback, causing him to miss that wide-open receiver.
Line drive kick. Returnable. Keon Coleman. Breaking tackles. Still on his feet. He's got a convoy of blockers. Coleman lets some of those blocks happen out in front of him. Looking for a cutback lane. Finding it. Down inside the 10-yard line.
Oh, my gosh.
1st and goal, Florida State. 74 yards on the return.
What a return by Keon Coleman. You see him make one move. He makes another move, breaks some tackles. That man's out there running. He's got more moves than the military family. You're going to watch him continue to set up his blocks, continue to go. He's not trying to go down. Oh, no, he tries to stay up all the way for 74 yards. You want to talk about raising your draft stock. Keon Coleman is showing that not only can he run across the middle and make plays, not only can he run double moves and make plays, but he can also help you in the return game. Shoot, Bob, the Jets might need him.
Sign us up. Anwar Sparrow, who made the tackle, came down awkwardly, and he got injured on the play. So the Syracuse training staff over to help Sparrow to his feet. But with 22 seconds to go in the quarter, potential style points here for Florida State as they're up 3 touchdowns and looking for more.
So what do you think, Bob? You think Florida State's playing up to their ranking right now?
Yeah, and you start to look at the schedule. They've got Duke coming in to Doak next week. Back-to-back road games against Wake Forest and Pitt. Home Miami, home North Alabama, at Florida in the traditional Thanksgiving weekend rivalry game. I don't see a team on the schedule that they will not be favored to beat. That they are looking, if they play good football the rest of the way, an undefeated regular season. Trey Benson to the 5-yard line. And that should take us to the end of the 3rd quarter. Derek McDonald made the ankle tackle. And right now, Jordan Travis trying to get his team set to maybe get one more snap off before the end of the 3rd. Game clock down to 5. And now they will take this to the 4th quarter. So 3 quarters complete at Florida State. A dominant performance so far today. Officially a 72-yard punt return for Keon Coleman to set the Noles up to end the 3rd quarter. Welcome back to Avocados from Mexico Tailgate Week. They enjoyed their tailgates outside Doak, and now they are enjoying a Florida State dominant performance inside as we start the 4th quarter. Goal to go for FSU, another quarterback run. Jitterbugging in the backfield and running out of room is Jordan Travis, and he goes down in the arms of Justin Barron. It will now be 3rd down and goal back to the 10-yard line.
You said he was jitterbugging, and the reason he was, again, was because of that low snap. Sometimes you try to make so many moves that not one works, and that was the case there for Jordan Travis.
Keon Coleman in the slot right.
Yeah, you're going to see Keon Coleman right there in the slot. They've got an inside out on him with Justin Barron in the safety.
Travis over the middle, bobble, bouncing around and almost intercepted on the carry off the hands of Trey Benson. Several orange defenders with a chance off the bouncing ball to come up with a pick.
Yeah, I can only hear Chris Berman in my head right here. Whoop, 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 whoop. That's how you know it's just not Syracuse's day. I mean, they've had a couple moments like that over the past few weeks, and they've just got to find a way with energy and hustle and creativity on the offensive side for sure to get the ball to bounce in their favor.
Leon Lowry probably had the best chance at it, and instead Ryan Fitzgerald from 29 yards tacks on 3 more. Minute gone by in the 4th quarter. Sound effects, please.
You want the sound effects again?
Yes.
Here we go.
Do it again. Kick as the Noles now with a 27-3 lead with 14:06 to go. And let's listen to some of Josh Storm's pregame.
I love the hair.
You like that?
Okay. I like the hair.
It's going to be a good day.
Nobody look at the sun.
Yes, not directly at it. Oh, yeah! Yep, let's go. Ready to roll. Let's go have fun today. Let's make it a great day. Yep, let's go have fun. Hey, to the moon today, brother. Let's go get it. Grab. Squat on the whistle. Squat on the whistle. Speed all day. Speed all day. Yep. Let's go. Great day, man. Go trust that speed. Go shine. Go be you. Everything you see, trust it. Trust that speed. It's there all day long. So, hey, go shine today. Go be great. Oh, I got you. Hey, go be great. Go have fun, man. Go have fun there, brother. Love you, man. Go be you. Go be you. Yep. Great day, man. Let's go get him. Let's go get him.
That is infectious energy as the direct snap to LaQuinn Allen gets the ball out to midfield for Syracuse. But you always talk about the strength and conditioning coaches being really the heartbeat of a football program.
Yeah, they are. They spend the most time with the players. My strength and conditioning coach in college is a guy by the name of Kaz Kazadi. He is at TCU right now. Helped lead them to the national championship last year. They're not just building up your physical strength. They're building up your mental strength, and that's why Florida State has been able to be great late in games, because there's nothing that they're not prepared for.
Quarterback change. Carlos Del Rio Wilson is in at quarterback now for Syracuse. That pass knocked down by Patrick Payton as we check in with Chris.
Get a sense of just how much Storms means to Mike Norvell and his team. Norvell has brought him through all of his stops from ASU to Memphis and to here. He called him, quote unquote, the secret sauce. And if you hear the players around the facility, they use the phrase built by Storms. A tribute to their director of strength and conditioning.
Well, you gave a lot of credit in your career to your strength and conditioning coach at Baylor.
100%. And, you know, I can appreciate a guy that obviously has the connectivity with his roster and with the team, but also who has great hair and a great beard. I just can't grow a beard. It is what it is. I'm 33 and my facial hair just doesn't want to grow like that. But Josh Storms is just the epitome of what it means to have a strength coach as a head coach that you trust in, because you know, hey, when I call on these guys and it's 4th and 4 with 30 seconds left in the game, they're not going to come up short on strength or conditioning. He is going to make sure that they're there and ready to go every single time.
Again, Carlos Del Rio Wilson at quarterback. 3rd down and 8. DeJuan Price and LaQuint Allen flanking Wilson to the backfield. Here comes the blitz. Off his back foot. Tight window, incomplete. Good coverage by Renardo Green. Got a hand around DeMarcus Adams and knocked it away.
And you bring up that name, Renardo Green. Defensive coordinator Alan Fuller said this guy has been making a fuller impact, right? He is our best cover guy. When they played against LSU and he was going up against those two monsters from the SEC and Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr., he not only held his own, but that offense didn't look what it's looked like over the past few weeks. Renardo Green is really making a name for himself here as a 5th-year senior.
I said with all those gaudy numbers that LSU has put up offensively this season, in that opening week win, the FSU defense really only gave up 17 in that game. You hold the LSU offense to 17 points, you're doing something right.
Jersey Mike's freshly slices your sub right in front of you. It has a...
Well, Mike Norvell told Jordan Travis when he was doubting himself, go down and look at these Heisman trophies that are in our complex. That's how good I think you can also be. And here he is. He's certainly at least on the periphery of the Heisman discussion halfway through the season, and he's putting up another terrific performance today.
Yes, he is. And like I said, he's not going to have the gaudy numbers of some of these other guys who are playing in these close games because the defenses aren't that good. But he is a phenomenal football player.
Trey Benson for a couple of yards down to Chris Button.
Bobby had that conversation with Mike Norvell because he thought about maybe giving up the quarterback position after he had heard the boos inside this stadium. I asked him since then, how does he handle the criticism from outwards? And he said, I deleted Twitter off my phone. I still have the account, but I don't need to hear everything from everyone else during the season. It's extremely hard for these players during this era and the brands that they have to still try and have that image and be a voice, but still try and neglect the outside, and deleting Twitter off of his phone was one way that he's been able to keep that out.
Yeah, and honestly, deleting Twitter just shows you how much of an impact student athletes today have to go through with everything on the outside. When we talked to Mike Norvell, he said that, you know, right now it's the hardest time to be a student athlete ever.
Keon Coleman moves in the open field. Yeah, he made the point that this is an era where so many people have access to you and you can hear so much from so many different places, it's almost impossible to shut it all out. But not paying attention to social media is a good jumping off point for players and for announcers, by the way.
No doubt about it.
Benson, 3 yards up the middle, inside of 11 minutes to go. Marlowe whacks Justin Barron, sandwiched him there.
Yeah, you talk about all those outside influences. It's anybody that has a cell phone or a Wi-Fi connection can now become an expert.
If you pay attention.
If you pay attention to it. So Jordan Travis's method is, I don't need to see that stuff, right? I don't need to see my mentions and what I'm tagged in. And I'm completely focused on winning. And that's really tough for these guys to do because they grew up in the social media age. So to be able to cut that out and only focus on what you can do to get better and what your coaches are telling you to do so you can get better is the right path for a lot of student athletes.
Philly, close to a first down. Chris?
It's also one of the reasons, if you guys remember a few years back when Stetson Bennett, quarterback at Georgia, had an old school flip phone because he could use the phone to call people and text people like phones used to just be able to do, but he didn't have the apps, he didn't have all the social media on it.
Flip phone was underrated. As is Lawrence Toafili, looking for the end zone. Style points for Florida State. Wow.
What a run right there by Lawrence Toafili, man.
50-yard touchdown.
He got there in a hurry.
Find a lot. An exclamation point for Florida State as they now lead by 31 over Syracuse. And they will stay undefeated to start off the season. Big game against Duke here at Doak. Coming up next week. Right now, back to Kevin.
Bob, how about this over on ESPN? Arkansas coming back in Tuscaloosa. It's KJ Jefferson.
We got a game in Tuscaloosa. The running back, little out and up touchdown, Pig Suey.
Rashad Dubinion right there. It's 24-21 with under 4 to go in the fourth and coming up 3:30 Eastern. What does Kalen DeBoer have to do for Washington to get the win against Oregon?
Have the environment be the storyline, being at home. Kalen DeBoer is the head coach at Washington, has not lost at Husky Stadium.
Huskies are favored by 3. The big showdown, Oregon, Washington coming your way after our game in Tallahassee. Bob?
That is must-see TV coming up next. We actually opened the season in Washington at Husky Stadium as the Huskies took on Boise. And that was our first taste, certainly yours, of what it was like game day at Husky Stadium. And I can't imagine how loud that place is going to be today.
Oh, my goodness, it's going to be unbelievable. And when you have a guy like Michael Penix Jr., who's, you know, really stirring up all the excitement there for them, and the receivers, Roma Dunze, Jalen McMillan, Jalen Polk, they're going to go put on a show, and it's just a matter of who has the ball last. It feels like it's going to score a ton of points.
Jawan Price for a couple of yards. And the test for both defensive coordinators in this game. How do you slow down those two quarterbacks and these two offenses?
I mean, look at this. When you talk about Bo Nix, it feels like he's been in college forever. We had the Stetson Bennett jokes last year. It seems like Bo Nix, you know, you think he had started a family by now. That's how long he's been in college football. But he is a phenomenal quarterback. He can throw it. He can run it. He's dynamic in that manner. And Michael Penix, it's kind of slept on a little bit, but he is also a dynamic runner. But when he throws it so beautifully, I always say he's a lefty, but he throws it just right.
I see what you did there.
Appreciate you.
Play clock winding down, so a timeout called.
Syracuse, that's the first charge timeout of the second half.
Our next UFC Fight Night on ESPN Plus tonight from the Apex in Las Vegas. Highlighted by our featherweight main event. Rising contender Sadiq Yusuff will take on the veteran striker Edson Barboza. The prelims start at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific, followed by the main card at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. That's tonight. ESPNplus.com/UFC. As soon, by the way, as we have video of Herbie jumping off the back of the boat at, Husky Harbor there and tearing his pants in half, I'd like to have that video sent to us. Right?
I was going to say,
is that only you?
That's all, Bob. That would do. That was only me. I did not rip my pants on purpose.
You destroyed your pants.
But they definitely got ripped.
3rd and 8 and a design rollout. And that is broken up. Good hands by Fentrell Cypress to knock it away from Damian Alford. And here comes the Syracuse punt group again.
Man, Bob, it just feels like all day today, this Florida State defense has been a step ahead of the Syracuse offense. At the point of attack, they're knocking footballs down. In the running game, they're stopping it. Other than a couple big runs by LaQuint Allen Jr., this Florida State defense has really shown itself to be one of the more dominant units in college football, even though the stats don't quite add up for that. In ACC play right now, they're doing extremely well, only giving up 3 points here to a team that seems to be struggling.
Well, 9th punt of the day for Jack Stonehouse. And this one driving Coleman back to the 15-yard line. He is tough to bring down. Coleman weaves his way to the 28-yard line before being tackled from behind. A gain of 12 yards on the return after a 58-yard punt. This is worth the flashback right there.
Okay.
Can we tell us straight? Can you use the circle?
Listen.
Keep it on a freeze.
We got there the pants rip.
There we go.
I decided to go Eddie Guerrero on that jump into the lake. And I didn't realize that, hey, I got some cakes back there. And these pants are not going to be able to survive this frog splash.
So Jordan Travis's day is done, and Tate Rodemaker gets a chance with 8 minutes to go.
Let's hope he doesn't rip his pants.
A swing one to Keziah Holmes.
Ooh.
Good block out on the edge, and Holmes picks up a first down. Jeremiah Wilson missed a tackle, and that's a gain of 16.
That's one way to get yourself going, is throw it out there in the flat to the running back. And you're talking about Tate Rodemaker. He had 7 appearances last season. He is a seasoned backup, I would like to say.
And off to Keziah Holmes up the middle. By the way, great fact on Keziah Holmes, his uncle, J.T. Thomas, the first black football player ever at Florida State, and would go on to play in the NFL with the Steelers, be part of a Super Bowl championship team. And now that lineage continues with Keziah Holmes as an old.
Bob, I appreciate you mentioning that. That's
being at Florida State and having a chance to chase his dreams.
And getting a chance to play here in the 4th quarter. Right back to it. And up the middle for another first down.
As this game is starting to wind down, I think it's important for us to mention about the job that Mike Norvell has done here at Florida State. In their early years in 2020 and 2021, things weren't always rosy. And when I asked him about that this week, he said he appreciates everything that they've been through because it's been a part of their journey as a program. And he says that they have these mottos, and climb is one of them, but at the end of the day, who you are has to be real. And he's grateful for all the tough times and the fans maybe not always being in.
More turbo.
More freedom.
More electric.
At Nissan, more is all we do.
Desmond Howard, here to see my college football collection.
Impressive stuff, little man.
Geico makes it easy to insure. My car and RV, too.
Wow.
Gloves from your famous catch.
How'd you get those? Great smile. Is this from when the band ran on the field?
Yep, 1982.
What is this?
Oh, no, don't touch the,
Not so fast, my friends. Not so fast, my friends.
It will turn off eventually.
For all your insurance needs, from home to car to RV, it's easy to Geico.
My friend.
Domino's new pepperoni stuffed cheesy bread is the best thing since bacon and jalapeno stuffed cheesy bread, which was the best thing since original stuffed cheesy bread. Get Domino's new pepperoni stuffed cheesy bread or any other 2 or more mix and match items for just $6.99 each at Domino's.
As we return to Tallahassee, Keon Coleman, he has put on a show at times for them.
Oh, yes, he has. Look at him go up there, make the one-hand snaggeroni, but that's not it. He also has a little bit of razzle-dazzle in the return game. On this 70-plus yard return, he's really elevated his draft stock today.
247 all-purpose yards for Keon Coleman. And Chris Button has even more on Keon.
No, a different Coleman, Jack Coleman, is a special member of the Dreams Come True Jacksonville team. No relation, but he is going to have a special weekend here next weekend for homecoming. He found out yesterday that he's going to get to come here, has sideline passes to be able to see the game. He said his dream, he currently has a tumor that's causing him to lose his eyesight. He said the one thing he wanted to do before it completely went away was to be able to see his favorite team, the Florida State Seminoles, up close and personal. And because he loses his eyesight, he won't be able to really see from the stands, so they secured him sideline passes to be able to watch it up close and personal next week.
That is amazing and heart-wrenching all at the same time.
Yeah, it is. I mean, just incredible for them to do that for this man. Anyone that says there's not good out there in the world anymore, it's moments like that that make you realize that people are good and this world is inherently good. We just got to show more of it.
That was the first thing Mike Norvell said over and over again about his team yesterday. When we asked about different players, the first thing he went to with each player we asked about was the person that he thought that player was.
Oh, yeah.
Up the middle again, Jawan Price trying to get a push. No room there. Daniel Lyons wraps him up with 5 minutes to go.
And, you know, the one thing that Mike Norvell said in that meeting with us, Bob, was he loves coaching these guys, right? They are all great kids, and that's part of the journey. You know, in talking to him in the past, he's told me that, you know, football is not the end result. There's so much more to life than just football. So when you come to Florida State under him and under his tutelage, he is going to try to build you to be a better man, a better player, a better person. And he's never going to ask you to do something that he wouldn't do himself. And the line he actually told us yesterday that really was illuminating to me was he's never asked a player in any of his programs to trust him. He's always gone out and earned that trust.
Price on the screen. Out to midfield. A gain of 21. Well, again, Mike Norvell arrived at Florida State off of his years at Memphis, and it was a struggle early on, but you could see this coming and the build with this veteran team. And I think that's another part of when you not only bring in a lot of transfers, and those players have to get acclimated to your system, but young players become old. Now look at his offensive line. He has 6 offensive linemen that have started at least 30 games coming into today,
right,
and a 7th offensive lineman that also has rotated in as a starter, as Price picks up 5. Let's check in with Kevin.
Bob, want to remind our audience we are 26 minutes away from the showdown of the week, and that is Washington, Oregon, and Bo Nix.
Is that the Oreo uniforms we're going with?
Well, cookies and cream.
Cookies and cream, okay.
Yes.
Could be the most hostile environment Bo Nix has ever played in.
And we're talking about an Auburn quarterback, too, who understands SEC ball and playing in that environment. Back to you guys.
That'll be a fun environment.
I don't know why Booger's acting like he doesn't know what cookies and cream is. Come on, Booger. We know you like them cookies and cream. Come on now.
Price getting tackled. 2-yard shy of the first down. As we're inside of 3 minutes to go. But again, you would always probably say that the single most important foundational group for any football team as their offensive line. And to have that group as experienced as it is for Florida State, it's a nice jumping-off point.
Yeah, 100%. As a quarterback, you need to be protected. As a running back, you need holes to be generated. So if your offensive line has that much experience, it's going to help you. But I think it's even more than just the offensive line. When you look at this Florida State offense, they have 87% of their returning production coming back. That means to me that not only are they experienced, but they've been through the fire. And a lot of those guys, not just on offense, but also on defense, that could have went pro and went to the NFL, decided to come back because they wanted to win a national championship. And it reminds me of a Deion Sanders quote where he said, if your dream isn't bigger than you, then your dream isn't big enough. And these guys have dreams to go out and climb to the top and win a national title. And today they certainly showed that they are worthy of that number 4 ranking.
Well, FSU's defense, they have 7 fifth-year seniors as part of their top 11 starters.
Yeah.
So it just goes to show you, last year, that really spirited win they had over Oklahoma in the Cheez-It Bowl in Orlando in front of a sold-out crowd is 4th down and a half yard here for Syracuse. They'll run it, and picking it up is Juwan Price. There's a lot of players on that team that probably had that decision to make. And the majority came back to play this season, and they're now reaping the benefits of having a veteran-laden team.
Yeah, and this team has probably maximized COVID more than any other team in the nation. Having all those 5th-year seniors come back. And when I really think about it, it reminds me of the way that BYU has attacked college football over the years before the portal. They get those guys, they go on missions, they come back, and when they're playing, they're 23, 24 years old. And we got a lot of 22, 23, 24-year-old college football players right now.
Today on ABC and the ESPN app, coming up, one of the biggest games of the day. On deck, it's Bo Nix and Oregon taking on Michael Penix Jr. and Washington, 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific. Husky Stadium will be loud as we take a look at this week's college football rankings, brought to you by AT&T 5G. And not only does number 7 against number 8 have a lot to do as Valari catches a little screen out of the backfield with a half minute to go. Not only does the top 10 shakeup potential have a lot to do with the national championship picture, the winner of this game, you would think, is going to heavily influence the outcome of the Heisman picture as well.
Oh, 100%. This is truly the most bona fide Heisman moment we've had so far this year, with 2 top 10 teams going against each other, 2 quarterbacks that are not just vying for the Heisman, but also draft slot position. There's a lot on the line in that game.
Rio Wilson's going to take a shot to the end zone and nearly dropped it in. Darrell Gill Jr., the intended receiver, almost was able to make the shoot top catch.
Yeah, you had the corner there playing in between both the seam and the go ball. And I know all the Syracuse Orange fans at home are like, man, we'd love to see a lot more of those throws down the field early in the game when they probably had a chance to win it. But it still goes to show you that Syracuse is not just rolling over and quitting. They've got the backup quarterback in right now, and they're still trying to go and score points.
So Del Rio Wilson. He's going to take another shot over the middle. That's broken up on 2nd down and 10. Gill Jr., the intended receiver again. When Darius Jones was there in coverage for Florida State. 3rd down and 10 with 20 seconds remaining.
There's no question about it. Dino Babers and Jason Beck on the offensive side of the ball have a lot of work that they got to do with this system to figure out, 1, is Garrett Schrader going to continue to be their guy? And then 2, how can they put him in the best position with the skill guys that they have to score points in ACC play?
Florida State blitzes and forces a throwaway as they were trying to slip a screen potentially again to either Valari or potentially to Juwan Price. It's now 4th down and 10 with 15 seconds to go. So now your eyes start to shift, if you were a Florida State fan, to Duke at home next week, back-to-back road games against Wake and Pitt, and still on the schedule in conference Miami at home in the rivalry game. And then you close out the season with another rivalry game on the road against the Gators.
Correct. And I would just say for the fans and for the players and coaches, focus on that 1-0 mentality. It's all about Duke and nothing else matters.
Del Rio Wilson serves up an interception. Greedy Vance Jr. is able to get the window dressing interception, and now all that remains is for the Noles to take a knee.
Yeah, you're going to see him step right in front of the wide receiver, gift wrap from the quarterback. Apparently,